competency mapping and assessment centers. After going through this presentation, you should be able to understand the concept of competency mapping, identify the benefits of competency mapping, understand the concept of assessment centers. After going through this presentation, you should be able to understand the concept of competency mapping, identify the benefits of competency mapping, understand the concept of assessment centers. What does competency mapping mean? Well, it refers to the process through which one assesses and determines one's strength as an individual employee, as well as a part of an organization. It helps both individuals and organizations alike. Organizations like to hire people with particular competencies. But do you know what competencies actually are? Competencies are a combination of knowledge, skill, abilities, and other individual characteristics that can be measured and used to differentiate performance. The consultants have addressed 6 issues while developing competency models. This can also be the steps in developing these models. The first step is to assess business needs, engage all stakeholders, and set goals. The second step is to identify methods, develop plans, and benchmark competencies. The third step is to identify competencies, develop and validate models. The fourth step is to develop and initiate competency applications and communicate activities to all. The fifth step is to link all the human resource system components and phase in implementation of all competency-based applications. The sixth and last step is to evaluate the measures and continuously improve the system. Now we will discuss some competency models in brief. Job Competency Assessment Model. This is developed using interviews and observations of different level performers to determine differentiating competencies in critical incidents. Modified Job Competencies Assessments Model. This also does the same, but here interviewees provide written account of critical incidents. Generic Model Overlay Method. In this, an off-the-shelf generic competency model is purchased to serve a specific role or function. Customized Generic Model. A tentative list of competencies is used in selection of generic models, and then it is validated with input of average and outstanding performers. Flexible Job Competency Model. This model seeks to identify those competencies that will be required to perform a job effectively in future. System Methods. This model demands reflecting not only current performance, but also future performance of exemplary performers. Accelerated Competency System Models. This puts the focus on competencies that support the product of output in organization. Let's see what are the benefits of competency mapping. It leads to an improved recruitment, selection, and training process. It leads to a systematic approach to training initiatives and learning programs. It helps in conducting appropriate development programs to help in overall development of employees, including career development. It enhances organizations' competitive position and productivity. It improves communication between employees and employer. It leads to increased competencies and improved working conditions, therefore benefiting both organization and employee. We now move our focus to assessment centers. Assessment center consists of a standard evaluation of behavior based on multiple inputs. It involves multiple trained observers and techniques. Measurement tools that are used in assessment centers include psychometric tests. They are structured tests to measure a person's aptitude, memory, personality, and skills. IQ tests, projective tests, and situational tests are some of the psychometric tests that are used. The leaderless group discussion. This is used to evaluate interactive skills of the candidate or employees. In this method, a group of employees is given a management problem to discuss or solve. In-basket exercise. It assesses candidates' ability to perform administrative tasks. In-basket items may include memos, emails, directives, correspondence, etc. Group exercises. They require a group of employees to solve a particular problem which may or may not be related to the job. An assessor observes and records the group behavior. He also encourages candidates to take part actively. Behavioral event interviews. A behavioral event interview is a structured interview that is used to collect information about past behavior. It's an interview technique based on the premise that the best predictor of future behavior is the past behavior. The table on the slide depicts the distinction between assessment centers and development center. Let's see how an assessment center works. At first, the candidate participates in a series of exercises that simulate on-the-job situation. The training assessor observes the performance and behavior of the candidate during those exercises. The assessor then writes evaluation reports, putting down their observations about particular candidates. After that, the assessor integrates the data through consensus decision process led by the center administrator who documents the decision. And at last, the participants receive objective performance information from the assessors or administrators. Now let us see how much you have learned. Answer the following in one word. What are the combinations of individual characteristics that differentiate performance called? The answer is competency. Next, this competency model also takes into account the future performance. Answer is system method. Next, what test measures the ability of an individual? Answer is IQ tests. Last one, which center, assessment or development addresses longer-term need of the organization? Answer is development center. Let us quickly go through the main points of the presentation. Competency mapping is the process through which one assesses and determines one's capability. Assessment center consists of a standardized evaluation of employee behavior using multiple units. Variety of tools like psychometric tests, leaderless group discussion, group exercises, etc. are used in assessment centers.